He's like, oh, can you design that by lunch? And I was like, no.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
And don't go looking for the videos because they're not on Fediverse.
we totally will.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be an advocate for here, and I'm like agreeing with you.
Yeah.
What about your like personality traits and your strengths?
Loud.
Yeah. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you.
To what is now known as the Superfly sessions, is what we've called it. It's kind of grown over time. Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah,
it's all right.
Yeah.
It's simple. Does the job. So just introduce yourself and what you do, what your business is.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Matt Wildball. I run Matix Design, and yeah, kind of started 7 and a bit years ago now. It'll be our 8th year this year. Yeah. So yeah, kind of worked in agencies for a couple of years.
Did you? Is that how you started then? Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. How did you end up?
Yeah.
How did you get to the like freelance level? Because I think there'll be quite a lot of people who will want to maybe explore that option in their career. And how do you go about doing that?
Yeah, so I guess from the beginning, I actually did qualification in games development.
Yeah.
So nerdy
Trying to live
gamer.
the dream.
Yeah. Yeah, so I did a lot of gaming and stuff when I was younger. Still do, to be fair. So did that, and then it was like during that course, so I was maybe like, I did it like a year later because I did sixth form for a year, and then I went to do, I kind of switched colleges and went to that, and then did games development. But then during that, it was at Beverley East Riding College, and they got the license to do like a foundational degree. So the games development was like a BTEC level 3, and then it was within that. And when I was doing that, there was like a module called the GDD, which is a game design document.
Oh, right.
And it was in there where kind of all the marketing material was done for the game.
Yeah.
So like the game cover and like the promo video and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, quite like doing this.
That
actually.
sometimes is like more exciting than the actual game itself. Is the packaging?
Yeah.
Like as a guy that was born in the 80s, like I was like Mega Drive and PlayStation, and the packaging was a big thing.
Yeah.
Like
I used to love getting the games. And
and the magazines and all the hard, like the products. There were products, weren't there? Rather than seeing them digitally now.
Yeah.
You used to like read the instruction manuals and stuff like that, and that was like part of the lore of the game,
yeah, definitely.
wasn't it? Yeah.
And then get like the steelbook editions and stuff with like the metal tins. So it was did that, and it was kind of like from there, which I kind of like doing the graphic design side of stuff. And while we did that, the college got like the license to do the whole uni course and the curriculum for that for like a foundational degree for contemporary media design and production. It's a fancy name basically for basically like media studies effectively, but it kind of covered everything from like just design to development. So we did like bits on Dreamweaver back then.
God, I remember that.
Bit of like action script stuff even, to doing like photography, bit of 3D on like Autodesk 3ds Max.
So loads of different stuff that you just kind of experienced early on.
Yeah.
Like loads of, quite a wide breadth of stuff.
Yeah, so you kind of like got a bit of knowledge of all these different areas basically. And it was kind of from there. Did that, and then they got the license to do like a full honours kind of top up degree as well. So I stayed on another year, did that, and then graduated from there.
Is that when you were like 21? You graduated?
So I was actually a little bit older because of that delay on sixth form. So maybe like it could have been 21, 22, something like that, around that
Early
kind
20s,
of area.
yeah.
Early 20s, and then, so I was working kind of at ASDA part time, kind of funding studies and stuff. And then pretty much graduated, and then just sent out a ton of like emails and stuff.
Did you?
To local agencies to try and get a design job.
And when you did that, did you pitch any ideas?
I didn't pitch any ideas, but my portfolio that I did, I just like really enjoyed design anyway. Like I actually enjoyed it. So like
that's half the battle, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you enjoy it, like
definitely.
You're probably going to be good at something that you enjoy.
Definitely, yeah. And I think pretty much all apart from one project in my portfolio was all just my like personal kind of like self-started work, not there wasn't very much kind of actual college or uni work in my portfolio.
Yeah.
Just because I enjoyed doing it. So I did it on a night and
Yeah.
stuff like that and built my portfolio there. So it was either taking like an album cover, redesigning that of a band and stuff and like making my portfolio like that. I had give myself like a personal brand and things like that. And that built the portfolio.
Yeah, I think that makes a difference because I often find, you know, when I see like when we get applicants and stuff, when I see like university portfolios, it's so uni.
Yeah,
like it's so uni.
Real
like,
typographical layouts that you just can't apply commercially.
Like, completely. It's like project based rather than like more conceptual stuff or like redesigning an album cover. Like, what a great idea! Like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, whilst reams and reams of like studies about typography. Yeah, I get that's important. But
yeah,
it's not interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely go on a tangent. I think the education system, like around that, just doesn't prepare you for. So I remember then the first job that I got after sending these out, where you get like, 2 or 3 months to design a poster at uni, like come up with all these concepts and then like went into a first day out of the job and at a local agency and he's like, oh, can you design that by lunch? And I was like, no. Are you sure? And then it was actually from there, because of the initial agency where I worked was just so fast paced. I wouldn't say like the quality of work was particularly good, just because like it was so fast paced. But that the only benefit I can really kind of take from that is that I'm now pretty quick at design.
Because you were kind of forced to be.
Pretty much, yeah.
When I did my degree in marketing, it's like like one of the projects was to do like a marketing strategy for Cause.
Right.
And then it's like, and then he ended
the
up
beer brand.
Yeah, the beer brand. So then you're working on this for months, and it's just like, then I ended up working for a mental health charity and walking around Withensea, handing out leaflets and promoting like stress management courses. It's utterly, completely different, but still, essentially, still marketing, but on a completely different scale.
Yeah.
So I think there could be more on like ground level stuff introduced into some of the education parts, but I don't know, maybe they do now. It's been a long time.
Yeah, but I think, as you say, you see what's a uni portfolio when you get it through, and I just don't think the type of projects or like the briefs that they get from like the curriculum really sets you up for kind of working in an agency. I really liked like the professional production module that we got, because actually then you got client feedback or professional feedback from an agency owner or something that you had to go out to and get that, which I think is really good, because a lot of the portfolios that you see, like even just like the level of creative and like what you would consider is good work, like kind of that you would employ for, I think it's few and far between. Some of the stuff that you get, it's like, I mean, no offense, but like, it's just nowhere near the level that you need it. And it's like these lecturers or tutors or whatever kind of signing off and like, getting an A or, a high grade for something. But like, you look at it commercially and just like, that would not fly at all.
Yes, completely.
And there's very little, it's just visual. Like, there's no, this was the brief. This was like the challenge that I overcame, and like we did this because to achieve
why
this
does
goal.
this exist? Yeah.
So there's none of that. It's very kind of superficial and just visual led. Whereas I think, design is a communication tool, and I always like to say, design is there to solve problems creatively for businesses. It's not just making stuff look good. You're only going to get very surface level with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So you worked in it, did the fast-paced agency thing, and then was that like, right?
Yeah, so
I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah, so worked at an agency, first agency, just over a year, about a year and a quarter, something like that, year and a half, something like that. Left there and then got a job at another local agency, and I just got fired from there.
Nice.
So I was only there 9 months. I won't mention who it was, but
Can you say what you did? How did you get fired?
It was actually just didn't jive with the director, basically. And
I thought I was going to get some scandal there.
No gossip there, unfortunately. And she just said to me, "Is like just not a good kind of fit for the team.
Yeah, that's fair
and
enough. Yeah.
yeah, and looking back, it's actually done me a favour.
Yeah.
Because then I was like kind of forced to kind of go into starting a business. So this was based in the C40i building in Hull. So I knew there's other agencies in there as well.
Yes, it
so I
was.
kind of knew a few people in there. So I
And
was
did
like,
that help? The collaborative approach.
yeah, definitely. So yeah, I kind of left and I was like, oh, I'll email a few people, see if I can get a bit of freelance work or something like that, as I look for another job, basically. And started doing that, and I was like, oh, getting picked up more work and more work. And then I was like, oh, okay, this actually could work.
Yeah.
I only need to do like
This could be my job.
yeah, pretty much. Because what my salary was at the time versus even on like way back then when I was earning like 25 quid an hour, worked out that I'd only have to work 2 days a week, like or 16 hours worth of time to basically earn what I was in a full-time job.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm quite goal-driven and goal-oriented. So I just like set that as my goal. I was like, I just filled 2 days a week.
Yeah.
And then I was like effectively earning what I was for part-time work effectively. That's how I saw it.
Yeah.
And that kind of drove me to kind of get that work. And if I was like, 14 hours that week, right, I'll just email like a load of companies and like see if I can get like a little flyer here or something like that.
Yeah.
And like really pushed for that. And then I ended up getting actually 2 days a week retainer at a local agency.
Wow. Yeah.
That predominantly dealt in web design, but they didn't have much print kind of design or print background or anything like that. So I kind of handled that for them. And I was like, oh wow, got like that goal like ticked off already.
Yeah. But that was quite a buzz, when you get that first, when you realise you can pay yourself the same as you did when you like had your job. I think that's like, right, that's my base. Like I've got it. I've done it. But then the thing is, it doesn't stay like that, does it?
Yeah,
it goes up and
peaks
down,
and
up and
troughs.
down. Yeah. So how have you found that throughout the 7 years? How is it just a fucking fly?
A
Piss
fly is
off,
going
man.
to attack us.
Yeah.
It's been good. I think I've definitely been lucky in a sense. 'Cause like one of my first clients about 6-7 months after I started, and this kind of comes down to not what you know, who you know in some sense, that kind of cliche term.
But is that luck? I'm starting
Yeah,
to think this
making
is
your own
like,
luck, yeah.
Like, because I feel like I've been doing it a little bit longer than you, 11 years, and I feel like I've had some shit luck. And recently we've actually got some good luck. But then I think, is it good luck? Because I've been doing it so long. Is that good luck, or is that just being there like for that long and being like consistent and just being there?
Yeah.
And like you said, the connection that you've built up, is that luck?
Yeah, I think initially right place, right time. There's definitely some of that involved, but as you say,
fair enough,
as you kind of you build a reputation. That reputation's not luck, definitely.
Yeah,
and what you've done with Superfly here, so especially in recent work, your stuff's like shit hot. It's like really nice stuff, and I think that's come through on your marketing, and you can kind of see like the quality. Whereas I think there's a lot of younger agencies lasted 3, 4, 5 years and disappeared because they don't have them. I don't know if it's like quality control or like the way. I think customer service is a big thing that's lacking in agencies, or definitely when I've found like it could be like good design or something like that, and they've got like they have good design, I should say, but then the customer service and that building that rapport with the client is really lacking, or it's just sent to an account manager, and like the account manager's not got much kind of experience in design, so then they don't know what they're kind of telling back to the client, and then you've got this kind of hierarchical structure where like a junior designer can't talk to the end client, and then there's a bit of Chinese whispers between account management and then the designer. That's what I've found anyway. As I say, but I only worked in agencies for a few years, and this was 10 years ago now.
Communication and as you know now, and client, just being able to communicate properly with clients and have meetings and build up rapports and build up relationships is as important as anything, to be fair. As almost, you've got to combine that with being good as well. And if you can combine those two, then it works, doesn't it? It does work. But you still get a shitload of bad luck as well as the good luck. And sometimes you lose customers, and sometimes like we've lost team members at times, and that's been like quite hard to come back from. And I've taken that. I've actually been offended by that, but then now I'm like, everyone moves on and everyone has their own lives. It's nothing to do with me. Or it might have been, but so what? Like, just got to move on, and everyone just trying to build up everyone around us, I think, which is why we get on like well. And it's good to communicate with other people working in the creative sector, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I
Because
think
we've all got different skills, haven't we, and different gaps to plug.
Yeah, and I think other competitors in some senses, the collaboration. Yeah, there's enough work to go around, isn't there?
Yeah, of course there is,
yeah, laying off everybody, and I guess depends kind of what the goal is, or I mean, it might be a subconscious thing, but Hull is like an area, or the community of designers around here. If we can all lift that up to a higher standard, then Hull or our kind of creative community around here then gets better work as a whole and all 100%. That kind of stuff.
I think some other agencies, since we've been set up, have actually, I've seen what they're doing, or just been aware of their work and the type of stuff that the type of numbers that they're getting. I'm like, shit, we need to do better now. So then we get better. And then that pulls up someone else, because someone else will probably be looking at us thinking, oh no, we need to do better now.
Yeah, definitely.
And then everyone's just pulled up, aren't we? And like, yeah, Hull is at the end. It's at the end of the road ultimately. Like, you can't do anything about that. We're not in Leeds or in central England. We're on the coast, but there's loads of good people around this area that I think businesses from other parts of the country would do well to work with.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So 7 years then.
Sorry, we'll go back to your original question and the peaks and troughs.
Yeah, I suppose it's just say like someone's setting up freelance, what would be some of your recommendations to, like, now in hindsight, like what would you give a not necessarily to your previous self, but to maybe people looking to explore starting their own business, but then sustaining their own business? Because I think anyone can start a business, but then it's hard, because you start to ride the initial wave of excitement, but then that can die off, and you have to work with that, don't you? So
definitely.
What would be your recommendations?
I think, as I say, I'm quite goal driven myself, so doing that really helped. And always having that kind of being accountable for that, and if when you do start business, it's often just you and maybe one other person, something like that. So you're accountable for that. So if you haven't kind of reached that goal, it's kind of down to you if you haven't pushed as hard. But
it's quite high pressure, though, isn't it?
I would say I'm fairly harsh on myself for that. Quite my own critic, I guess, in that way. I always want to strive to do better, or turnover needs to be high, profit needs to be high. I want to get this type of client in. I want to do good on this job. So that was a big thing for me. I think joining a community area, somewhere like C40i, that really helped. Just being around like-minded people. It's that kind of cliched thing. If you surround yourself with people that complain, you'll start complaining. If you surround yourself with, kind of people that are of a like mind, trying to build a business and they want to grow and they're ambitious, then you, as a byproduct, will become kind of ambitious as well.
So that's that lifting each other up.
So that definitely helps. And I think for the cost as like an expenditure, that was a great investment initially, because you have to look at it, when you're starting a business, as, what's going to be an investment and get a return on your investment as well. So that was really good. Even just kind of like general support and stuff around in that kind of area. That was good. And I think as well, especially from a design point of view, not so much business in general, but from a design point of view, as I kind of mentioned earlier, it's I see a lot of younger designers just making pretty pictures, basically, and like, oh, well, it looks good, so it's good. They're like not really understanding why,
the reasons behind it.
And like designing based off like data, or we're doing this because it's going to achieve this goal. I think almost like as a design or marketing agency, I think they've moved into a different kind of, going off on a bit of a tangent here, I guess, but moved into a bit of a different kind of realm, I guess, than just like solely I'll just send it to this design agency. So like, I assume it'll be similar with your type of projects as well. Is that like you really need to understand the business, and like, you know, we're even offering suggestions on, you know, what products to sell better, or like, you know, can, you know, and that kind of goes into, you know, actual physical product development for that business, or like a new service even. Basically from getting a really good understanding of the business. And I think it's that where you add the real value in, you know, companies like mine and yours and some other good ones in the area, is we understand that, and it's, you know, kind of driving that return on investment for that company.
That's the main thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
You've got to be worth it.
Yeah,
ultimately,
definitely. Yeah. But I think that's one thing I would say to anybody kind of starting up, is like really hone that skill and refine that, and have almost like you have to put yourself in the client's shoes or the business owner's shoes. If they're spending, you know, 20, 30, 40,000 pounds a year with you, you know, they want more than that back, and, you know, probably, you know, a multiplication of at least doubling, you know, that if they're going to spend that with you, and you're not going to do that by making things look good.
No,
like it needs to serve a purpose.
It needs to be accountable, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I would definitely say that's a key thing for starting. Yes, things do have to look good. Like that's just being good and like honing your craft in a way. But I think where ones succeed and kind of go that next level higher is that kind of understanding of the business. Yeah.
Cool. I think that's great. Yeah, that's really useful. Couple of other questions before we get Jade on. Is it obstructing the view of my face? So it's classic. This is a classic question. So you know what's coming. It's the hot topic, especially in design, I think, is how will AI influence the world of design in the near future? So in the next 12 months to 5 years, we're in definitely a weird transition period of harnessing AI, and it's a thing, isn't it? Yeah. And you can generate stuff now. Yep. Whether it's good or bad, you can do it. So then how do you see that's gonna that's gonna work with design and designers?
Yeah. I think there's definitely the tools are getting better. And getting better very quickly. I think that's potentially the key. It's like what was that fly's attacking me again. What was you know, you look at Midjourney, the first iteration of that. I mean, what was it? Maybe a year ago when that kind of like it blew up a bit. And where it's got to now is incredible, really. But I think people have this fear of like, oh, it's going to take jobs and it's going to replace designers. I don't think that's the case. You know, it's like Midjourney. Like even the name of Midjourney is like, it's named so well. It's the middle of the journey. You've got your pre-production stuff, you know, your concepts or the brief and the idea. You need it still requires human input, and then it produces something, and you still need to do the post-production after. And you know, there's a human on either side of that.
Yeah, of course.
And it's no different really from, you know, if you take Midjourney as an example, you know, going on something like Shutterstock and getting a stock image, but you know, it's just an image asset at the end of the day.
Bet Shutterstock are thinking, oh no.
Yeah.
All those stock image sites are like, oh no, this is not good.
Well, they've started implementing it as well, haven't they? Yeah. So it's not as great. But yeah, so I don't think it's doom and gloom like a lot of people seem to think it is. It's still it's a synergy between the human and the machine, effectively, and learning. It's just a different skill on how to learn to talk to the machine. You know, ChatGPT and things like that, how you actually set up the prompts and kind of prerequisite a lot of stuff before you actually ask it the question that you want it to ask.
And then also that editing it after if it comes up with a load of nonsense.
Yeah, definitely.
Can be a good inspiration. Like used for inspiration as well, can't it? Like if you've got a block, whether it's writing or whether it's like design side.
Yeah, definitely. And I think from a design sense, I think it's actually going to be the AI. the AI stuff will actually be more like speed, efficiency, and optimization of stuff, not doing the actual design itself. Like, I know there's like
Yes. Yeah.
page builders and stuff now, and like you can do like AI site builders and stuff, but I actually think it's more there for that optimization of stuff on like informing those decisions, as I mentioned, about kind of like solving the business goals, and then design is then like a byproduct of, you know, this synergy then between AI and human, and kind of like it almost helping you do the problem solving for you.
Yeah, that's interesting.
There's a good example of say like Netflix and the way that they use it. So like mine and your Netflix, depending on what we've watched, even though that we may have the same movie recommendations, the actual screen, like the cover of that movie would actually be different for me and you.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that for real?
Yeah, based on like other things that you've liked, other things that you've watched. And so say if Dune or Dune, the new film. Obviously, Netflix have got the original Dune 1 on there. So Dune 2 is out in cinema. But that actual cover art will be different for me and you based on what you've done and what you've watched. But Netflix have, because it's quite a menial, boring task for someone to sit there and swap out all these variants of images. So their kind of machine learning model is doing this for them.
That's so interesting. Yeah.
So it's not like, in that sense, it's not taking over like some really skilled kind of work. It's kind of to do that run of the mill, day to day, tedious.
It's doing
work.
a heavy lifting job.
Yeah,
yeah. That's essentially quite boring.
Yeah, and so in that sense, that actually then is more of an argument to say to the designers, well, you actually now, as a designer, use your knowledge, skills, and stuff to actually focus on really what you need to focus on, and not, you know, kind of waste all this time just swapping out images on this stuff when this can do it over here, and use all of the data based on your account information and kind of swap all these out variants and then kind of present these to you, and then it can look at all the data and just keep doing this itself.
That's great.
So I thought that was a really interesting example that I saw.
Oh yeah, that's great. I didn't know that. That's amazing. And that the mind boggles of where that goes as well.
Oh,
It's
definitely.
When you bring like static images and videos into it as well, and it's amazing. Cool. Okay. So last thing I wanted to ask you was, you obviously super in the know with your tech. So what? I had a brief conversation you were having with Ed out there. What would you be your top 3 kind of software recommendations for? I'd say in your design area, I would say so. What software would you use if you're like an upcoming designer?
Yeah, so I guess it kind of depends if, you know, what kind of field you're getting into. You know, obviously design is a spectrum, is pretty broad. But the area that kind of where I'm most focused on, like web UI, UX, you know, you've definitely got to look at Figma. Versus Adobe XD. Was using Adobe XD before. And obviously there's the whole issue with Adobe buying Figma, and then that didn't go through and all that kind of stuff. But then obviously that meant that, I think there was an article from Adobe that said they wasn't putting any more resource into XD anymore, because they were so kind of
sure that Figma was going to go through.
So obviously all that development time when they could be making new features, they've just lost like effectively like 2 years of development really compared to Figma. And you can just tell now Figma's so far ahead.
Isn't it? Yeah.
I think the trick is, or the tricky part is, I should say, is people that have been using XD, like the when do you swap? Or like, you know, when is the time to swap? You know, because obviously you're doing client work, you know, you're super busy. Can you learn a new software on the job? And like knowing that
It's
I don't
that
know
jump
everything.
in it. Yeah.
So someone starting out, I'd definitely look at Figma for web UI, UX, prototyping, that kind of stuff. I've really enjoyed kind of learning that, and just like the workflow is so much better.
Yeah. Both of our web team have now changed to Figma. I think they've been using it for good 6-12 months now.
Yeah, how have you found it?
they've found it much better.
Yeah.
And it's easy to create multiple concepts as well of
Yeah.
things rather than just like coming up with one concept, so we can send multiple variants to clients so they've got different options.
Yeah.
So yeah, they seem to love it. So that's
Nice.
the main thing.
Yeah, definitely. And then I think two more. I was trying to think now. You definitely need some like kind of like analytical tools.
Yeah.
Really understand that. So, things like Google Analytics, Hotjar
Yeah.
for heat mapping.
Yeah.
That's really good. Especially if you kind of get like a retained client and you're doing UX improvements or like conversion rate optimization over time.
That visual data is really interesting.
Yeah. So I'd say they're really key tools. Well, this is kind of going more down like a web focused route,
Yeah.
I guess. But so Figma, Hotjar and analytics, and then I guess like a project management tool, such as something like Trello.
Yeah,
or something
do you use Trello?
Yeah, and I found it good for our own stuff internally, but then you can set up boards
the
and
board
invite
thing's
clients to it.
Inviting clients, yeah.
Because it does like a lot of stuff as well. Like the client has complete visibility of where a project's at, which kind of is really helpful for just transparency on the project, accountability. If this kind of task is in your bag, you need to make sure it gets done. And I think it's just really good for a transparent relationship with the client. So I'd say they're pretty good. So not all like design focused, but I do find that they're probably the three that I probably use the most.
Yeah.
I would say. Yeah.
We use something called ClickUp.
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of a bit like, it has multiple features to it, which is quite good because you can customize it and customize like a dashboard to how you want. Because we swapped to, like we used Asana, then we swapped to Monday.
Yeah.
Then we swapped back to Asana, then we went
So
to
many.
ClickUp. Because we, like a lot of ours is rather than like some of it's journey, like web stuff, but then some of it's just, I need to do this by then. And
Yeah.
someone's assigned and then someone has and so it's more of like helps us with the team side of things as well.
Yeah.
But ClickUp's been great and it's pretty cost effective, to be fair.
Yeah. So I think a lot of them, like ClickUp or Asana or Notion, like they can become like absolute beasts, can't they? The amount of stuff that you can do with them. So yeah, I mean something like ClickUp, it can be quite lightweight to start with and not too intimidating. But as you grow, if you're starting out, you can add stuff to it.
Yeah,
so
it's a beast.
it might be a better option actually. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Should we get Jade in? We've swapped seats
We
Yeah.
have.
and we've got Jade,
I'm here.
who is the partner of Matt and also business partner of Matt.
Ooh.
It is now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I
now.
like it.
So you're engaged, aren't you?
Yes.
When are you getting married?
27th of September this year.
Yeah.
Making it official.
Congratulations.
Took me 10 years to propose.
Yeah.
And
Took
then
him
just
long
getting
enough.
married as quickly as you possibly
Yeah, in
can.
case he changes his mind.
So I think this is quite a unique. I don't find many like kind of freelancers who then bring their wife or girlfriend or partner, or vice versa, or a freelancer who brings in their husband into like quite a like people do it as in business and when there's quite a lot of people working, but not when it's like a newish entity. So how the hell have you found that? Because I'm sure there'll be quite a lot of people thinking I could never do that, and then there'll be a lot of people thinking, yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
It's not really changed much, I don't think.
No, definitely not. I think initially, I'll kind of go back a step and like, I never kind of actually wanted to kind of hire Jade in hire Jade in or bring Jade into the business. Not for any bad reason. It's just that I didn't want kind of like both our salaries and
risky,
stuff.
isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
the risk of that.
Especially when you're talking about mortgages and housing stuff, and that's
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
element of risk, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was kind of she had a job separately, and then the business. If the business went downhill, it would just be one side and not both of our incomes gone.
Yeah.
But I think because this is like the 8th year now, it's comfortable where the business has got to, and that's allowed that to happen. Really,
Yeah, it's less risk, and you are
Yeah.
from this world, aren't you? Because
Yeah.
we've worked with you. Like Superfly, I've
But
actually
at my
worked with you.
previous job,
Yeah.
we've known each other for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did like video and animation for a long time, so that
Yeah.
I kind of brought that in a little bit because you didn't do a lot of that.
No.
But yeah, it was just one of those opportunities where I was like, do I just do it? And we was like, oh, it just might as well just go
Yeah.
for it. But it's not changed our lifestyle at all. We're still like, as soon as it hits like 5 o'clock, it's like, okay, work's done. We are now Matt and Jade kind of thing.
So what's
Yeah.
Jade kind of brought to the business?
Yeah, so from my sense, my kind of like head's always just been in the business, so
Yeah,
like just
yeah.
cramming down on the work, and that, you know, it's that same thing of like working in the business, not on the business. Kind of bringing Jade in has allowed, you know, kind of even our own marketing and just looking at things from a different perspective, and then kind of getting in clients as well and allowing some time for that, like proactively doing it, because it's always just been like word of mouth and referral and things, but proactively getting in clients.
Yeah, business
and,
development side of things and growing.
yeah,
Yeah.
And obviously her skills when she needs to help out on design and animation, you know, got good skills in those areas as well. But it's been since July.
Yeah, it's been
so
8 months.
8-9 months.
Yeah, still early, but
Yeah, but like already we've seen like this will be our best year, and it's
Yeah,
happened
amazing.
in that kind
That's
of
so
last
good.
half
Yeah, yeah.
of the year when Jade's joined as well. When we've kind of seen on, you know, kind of turnover month to month and things like that, that's gone up. So it's kind of allowed kind of twofold really, like Jade's own skills, but then that's kind of taken weight off me to allow me to do kind of focus on the things that kind of I'm better at as well. So that's been really good. But
Brilliant.
I think
yeah, because you never used to market Matics
yeah,
ever.
yeah,
So it was always just the background kind of thing. You'd put the odd thing up every now and again, but
Yeah.
I just chat to anyone, so I'll just
You've got the gift of
LinkedIn the
gab.
whole day.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
on
yeah.
it.
And I
So-
think customer service, sorry, just to say as well,
Yeah.
like customer service side, like Jade's like a great like people person
Yeah.
as well. And I think, you know, anybody that's kind of speaks to her, you know, kind of like her, and, you know, she
Yeah,
has
yeah.
like
You
a
heard,
really
they
good
say it to my
rapport.
face.
Yeah, have like a really good rapport
Yeah.
with clients. But I think just jumping back to your initial question as well, how we've kind of found like the roles and stuff, which I think that kind of came about naturally, really. Like we just fell into like kind of our typical roles at home, like not like you're going to do this and I'm going to do this. It was just naturally, and there's
You're like slotted into you where your
Yeah.
skills
Yeah.
lie. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, yeah.
And even, you know, because obviously we come together in the car, we're pretty much together 24/7.
Yeah, yeah,
really.
yeah.
But as soon as we're in the car going home, it's like a natural kind of switch. We don't really talk about work, and we haven't had to force
No.
that, have we? It's-
No.
Yeah, so it's naturally been quite good on it. That's probably quite a rarity, really.
Yeah, I think it is. I don't, it's not something you hear of very often.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Jade, how have you found it going from the industry and coming into a business and,
Yeah.
and it being your partner's business? But then, have you felt like there's quite a weight on your shoulders? Or?
Yeah, I was umming and ahhing like when you said about me coming to work for you. I was like, oh, do I do it? Because I'm not very good at like complimenting myself at all. So I just think of bad things the whole time. So I was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to be fast enough or good enough.
Imposter
or,
syndrome.
Yeah, massively. I think I've learned a lot from Matthew. Considering I've used like programs that he's used for the last few years.
Yeah.
Like I've gone in and it's like helped me like get faster and shortcuts and everything like that, which has really helped. But I kind of like bring in the side that like I know that I'm marketing Matics and helping. I don't really see it as my business. I just feel like I'm helping you a lot
Yeah,
more.
definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like our business. You know, supports. I think supports us both.
Yeah.
And
It's so unbelievably mutually beneficial.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah,
more
definitely.
than
Yeah.
probably immersed, I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think it's been good.
Do you find you can switch off then? Because do you find, because I think work-life balance is hard anyway. Like if you're not, you spending time with your partner and and your family or whatever, but then if you're working with each other when you go home, can you be like, right, we're not talking about work, or does it bleed into conversation, or how does that work?
I think if you're busy and there's like certain things like your UX and UI stuff I don't know how to do it. you'll take some of that herb and you'll work at home, but I'll literally switch off at whenever I need to. You can't, because I can't do anything at home really, and I don't want to be in the same room as Matthew when he's trying to concentrate, and I just leave you to it for that kind of bit. But
yeah, I think.
Do you still work on evenings and stuff? Or?
Yeah.
You do a little
peaks
bit,
and
don't you?
troughs kind of thing.
When you need to,
Yeah.
when the
Yeah.
demand's there, when it's worth it for you.
Yeah, definitely. But it's becoming kind of less, and I think kind of doing that evening work is like less and less kind of controlling.
Yeah.
Because we are in a comfortable position now with clients, and kind of what the business does financially make and things like that. So now we're both trying to, especially this year, now it's kind of like your health, your fitness, and time.
Well, you're getting married, maybe
Yeah.
you're moving house. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of exciting things happening in your
Definitely.
personal life that you want to dedicate the right amount of time to, and I think you do right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's helped as well because we did employ somebody as like the first employee, but and I said to that person when they came in, I said, it doesn't matter about like the skills and stuff. We might do some things a different way. We might need to kind of upskill you in certain areas and things like that. But I just want like a good person that I can trust. And if the business grows, you've got like a right-hand person there that I know I can rely on. And I found that like really difficult when I was like interviewing, if you can see them. And then I took somebody on, it just didn't work out. But then obviously Jade, being a partner and fiance now, soon to be wife.
That's a nice upgrade.
And obviously I can trust her and just to get on with stuff.
And that might then make it easier to then try another team member
definitely.
again. Because then you've got each other to talk about that, rather than it just being someone that's there to kind of help you.
Yeah.
Because my experience with hiring people it's been the hardest thing, but at the same time, then people out there are way better than what I could ever do now, and I had to let go a lot of kind of just like, I don't know, control with that.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a big thing for me in terms of like, especially like design stuff.
Yeah.
Because like Jade takes care of like a lot of the animation side or the marketing side, which my skills aren't really in.
Yeah.
But if Jade was more of design side, I think I'd be a lot more like kind of like more strict with it, because I do have a bit of like, I guess, like control of the design. So I don't, because it's been my name for so long, effectively, on the business. It's kind of like and it's kind of I guess just allowing that kind of freedom to other people, that people may approach stuff in different ways. The design doesn't have to be my way, but obviously the quality still needs to be there. But that's what I definitely found with hiring that initial person who was a designer, is kind of giving up some of that control. I found that difficult. But
what do you think the future holds then? Have you thought about a plan, or you just winging it and see what happens?
We just take every day as it comes, really.
Yeah, I think business-wise, I think...
You just, like, even though I've come on, like, recently, you just keep getting better and better every year. And I just want to carry on that. I don't... Yeah, like, business gone kind of, like, strength to strength. And it's always said turnover and profits and stuff have gone up every year since started, which has been, obviously, really, really nice.
Yeah.
We haven't faced like a bad year yet. So when that time comes, that'll be difficult, I guess, because we haven't faced it. Be optimistic.
Doesn't necessarily happen.
Yeah.
There's peaks and troughs, isn't they? But it's how you then react to that. Like you were saying before when we were talking about, I've been saying, sending 15 emails a day or something. Eventually, you ask enough questions. Yeah. You get stuff back, don't you? It's having that attitude and pulling yourself up when it's hard.
Yeah.
But I think business-wise, like, and it's probably taken, I don't know if it's taken too long or like it feels like it's taken like a long time, but I guess like I know now what type of clients that we need and the type of clients that we want to work with. But whether that's just come because we are comfortable now, the business has done well, it's got I think a good reputation. especially in the area, I believe. And we can be a bit more select with the type of clients and the types of relationships that we have with them. We don't do much ad hoc stuff anymore. Which was, the first few years was definitely like a lot of that. But now it's more longer term partnerships, and we have definitely less clients, but the value of those clients and the length of time that we work with them is like kind of, over years really, and kind of like delivering results for them, and that kind of keeps them obviously kind of going with us year to year. So I'd say from a business side, that's probably what the future holds from that side.
So Jade, have you kind of come in and maybe plugged the gaps that Matt didn't have time to do?
Pretty
I noticed
much,
your socials are more active.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you're doing more kind of client, like
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I'm trying to just use the people who I've met over the past few years to connect with Matthew, which has been successful so far.
What about your personality traits and your strengths?
Loud.
Yeah. Have you brought in more structure or less structure, or how does?
I think regarding your the business marketing side, I've definitely brought a bit more structure. And I'll lead like a marketing team, like a marketing meeting with you, and just say I need this, I need that. We're doing this, we're doing that, because you didn't share a lot of your client work. It was never shown. So now I'm trying to put a bit of a spin on it and do animation side and bring that in, because that's what people like and like to see. But then a lot more behind the scenes. So working on something that's beyond the scene, which is just a little bit about what we do after work and what we like to do. And it's just just understand who we are as people. I think I've brought that in a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't think this conversation probably would have happened if it wasn't for you.
No, maybe not.
You started that conversation. I was like,
yeah.
It's like, right. I mean, I wouldn't have reached out.
No.
So yeah, I think
I'll just chat to anyone.
Yeah. So do like a lot of networking as well. I hate networking.
See, I like doing stuff like that. I like talking to people.
Networking events. I like talking to people like this. Like once I'm kind of like meeting stage, I really like it. But it's that the really awkwardness, like you stood in like a room with another 100 people and you have to go up and introduce something. I absolutely hated it. But
I love it.
Yeah.
But that's been really good, hasn't it?
Yeah.
For that. And kind of say like previous connections and your relationships, bring in some like good clients and stuff as well, which has been really good. And just that general like moral support as well. More from like a personal like human level kind of thing. That's been nice. Yeah.
I remember when my brother joined, we only waited 9 months. I was on my own and then brought Charlie in, and I was just like, oh my God, thank God.
Yeah.
It's just he's not all on you then, isn't it? And that's a lot of pressure. I know you probably talk on an evenings and stuff about the pressures of it, but when there's two of you.
Yeah, I can't I think now I'm part of the business, I understand it more. Because you used to come home and just be either exhausted or you needed to do work, and I used to be that was partner mode, make sure he's eating something, make sure he goes to bed, it's fine. But then now I'm right, okay, I understand what he's working on. Can I do anything? If I can't, then I'll just switch to partner mode and just make sure you've got everything to do what you need to do.
So then you're refreshed when you can swap over then, can't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, because sometimes we was talking about earlier where being a bad day, you got bad client feedback or something, and or something's gone wrong, and then you sat in traffic on the way home, and then I remember my mum always calls it kind of being withdrawn. I used to get quite withdrawn within myself, and then I'd get home and then just be not literally say a word. I'd just be completely out and just in my head. And then obviously that was difficult for you, and then kind of learn to kind of cope with it a bit more. So, but that's happened a lot less.
Yeah, I was going to say you've got a lot better.
Helps with now that Jade understands the business more and what we're trying to achieve and things like that. Yeah, and that pressure is just a lot less.
Sounds like you've been supportive and you've supported each other through that, and it's a two-way thing, isn't it? It's not just It's not just figure it out. That's not how things work, is it? You've got to figure it out together, and it's like when we're all of our partners that we live with, and it's difficult, like juggling home and family, and even relationships. I find is challenging to fit it in with your work, and I think you've done great, and you obviously got a really good, solid foundation to do what you're doing. So
I would say so.
Yeah.
So
It's been good.
yeah, I wish you all the best with it.
Thank you.
Thanks very
Next
much.
design,
Yeah.
Team Matics, go.
Team Matics. Oh, I'm getting t-shirts made.
Yeah,
There we
Team
go.
Matics.
Yeah.
defo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank
Great.
you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Beautiful.
Right.
What do you usually do? I mean, I ain't done it in a while.
Girls, hello.
Hello. Oh,
Hello.
hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. So it seems we've all come with questions.
You're such
Who
a
wants to go
professional.
first?
Rachel, do you want me to?
Yeah.
Okay. Who would like to answer a question first?
Oh, don't do this to me.
I'll go first.
You'll go first.
Okay.
Okay, Ellie. Okay. Is working in a marketing agency what you imagined it'd be like?
It is better than I expected, I think.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm not just saying that.
Oh,
I think,
love that.
I don't know, my brain works I'm very weird because I'm a very creative person, but I'm also like very organised. So the job that I've landed in is like really good.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Um,
perfect for you.
You have to
yeah.
have both, don't you, in what you're doing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. And it's real weird. Like you'd think a creative person is quite like messy. Like obviously the desks are messy and
Yeah.
desktop
Yeah,
is
yeah.
messy. But
That's
yeah,
me.
I think
I was like,
You should see my folders.
say
Like,
anything.
oh no.
at the end of the day, like let's clear it. No, yeah, I think it's definitely that has its challenges and things like that. But I love a challenge. So yeah, I think it's just a lot better than I even expected.
Yeah.
Which is
I
good.
love
you are
that.
perfect for it as well.
Good.
It's like the
Yeah.
perfect job for you.
Thanks.
It is,
Thanks, guys.
It is very much so.
I can't
Yeah.
take compliments.
Well,
it's
just like
your
just
perfect
just
job.
take it. Just take it. Okay. Do you want me to ask another one?
Or do you want to
Emma,
go?
Do you want me to ask?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
do.
wanna-
Okay.
Cool.
Ellie. Right. I won't do the Ellie one.
Yeah, do the Rachel one.
Rachel. Right. This is something that you've mentioned in the office before, actually.
Okay.
Can be a bit controversial. But apparently you're not on TikTok.
No, I
Why
am not on
is that?
TikTok. It's because there's so many different social media platforms I can't keep up, and
Yeah.
it overwhelms me.
Yeah.
And I think it's like one of them things where I've quite a addictive personality, and I'm just like, if I got TikTok, I would be scrolling on it for forever.
Lose the day.
Yeah.
Have you ever
So-
got to that point though where you're like in bed and you think, I'm gonna download it?
No.
So like, sometimes I get to that point, you know, when you get really hungry and you think, I'm gonna download Just Eat. And I'm just
I
gonna
do it with
order
Just
food.
Eat. the amount of times I delete Just
related.
Eat, like, ooh,
Yeah.
But you've not done it with TikTok.
No, I think because I think I've said this before as well, but the fact that there's reels, Instagram reels, I'm a bit trapped on there as well at times.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like I'm adding more fuel to the fire by then, you know, having TikTok alongside that as well, because I'm also addicted to Instagram and
Same.
LinkedIn and all the
Yeah.
other ones.
That's why I don't have TikTok. Because
Yeah.
I know I would just lose even more time
Yeah.
when I'm meant to be in bed.
Yeah.
And I would just lose
It
And then
is-
I'm
hours
tired
and
and
hours.
or I just procrastinate doing something
Yeah.
that I actually need to do in the house
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
something like that. So I'm just like, I'm wasting my life here doing
Yeah.
this. But
I do that all the time. I'm like, right, I'm going to tidy now. And then I'm literally sat on the floor against my bed scrolling on TikTok. And I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like,
And
what
all the things you need to do still need doing.
Yeah.
And
but you
it's
don't
now
realise
bedtime.
until it's like an hour or
Yeah.
so it's gone.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
It's
oh my
scary.
God, how is that time
It's
gone
actually
already?
scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not very
It is.
nice.
But yeah, that is why
That's
I
a
am
fair
not
reason.
on TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be an advocate for it here, and I'm like agreeing with you.
Yeah, I see.
But
I
with a
obviously,
reason.
yeah, I
Yeah.
obviously see like the perks of it and everything, and I think it's just I'm very devoted to Instagram,
Yeah.
and I'm on Reels, so it's is it the same thing? I don't know.
Controversial?
Controversial,
Yeah.
but I mean I know it's delayed
Yeah.
and whatever, but
Yeah.
I'm already addicted to that, so I don't want to contribute to
Yeah.
Yeah.
being even more addicted to another app.
Well, I wish I was you.
We could
wish
just
I
use
was, I
Ellie
do.
for all of our TikTok needs,
Yeah,
can't we?
you
I
can
speak-
send,
you
you
send all the
send the
ones
funny
on.
videos
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
I do,
so-
and I speak in memes.
Yeah,
That's
you-
why
yeah,
I
you
don't
literally do.
recommend
Yeah, you do.
TikTok. Because I'm
And
gonna
we don't have any idea what you're on about.
Yeah, we just let you get on with it.
horrible because
Yeah.
I'll sit there and be like, say something, you're both like, why is she just shouting?
Yeah,
random
it's less funny when you have to
things?
explain the joke and
Yeah.
this is what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay there. But yeah.
Right, who wants to go next? Shall I go?
You ask a question.
Yeah, you go.
Okay, Emma.
Yes.
What is your first social media app that you open in the morning?
It's Instagram.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, for a start, it's the only one. Mm-hmm. I was on Facebook and I was addicted to Facebook. I will hold my hands up.
Yeah.
And again, with the whole losing loads of time, I do see the perks of it, but I suppose, I mean, Facebook and Instagram are very different. Facebook is all of your friends or all of your family, and it's people that you've known literally since school. Instagram is more tailored to your desires and what you're
Interests,
interested in, and you know, like if you're into a certain type of fitness, then you can really hone it so that the content you see is purely beneficial to you and what you're looking for, and you know what you might find inspirational. I didn't get that with Facebook, sadly, but again, it has its place for sure, as does X, formerly known as Twitter. But then I just didn't have a specific need or niche to go on to like X. So it's got to be Instagram for me.
I just
Every
love
time.
Instagram. I think we're
I
all
know, I
Instagram
love
advocates,
it.
aren't we?
I'm an
Yeah.
Instagram girl.
As much as I do still have to take breaks now and then.
Yeah.
Again, because I just think I'm not getting stuff done.
Yeah.
And I'm
I
just
love-
too caught up.
I love it, but it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
I'm overwhelmed. My
That is my
I'm
thing.
overwhelmed.
Yeah, you're saying.
No, because it's like, it's so great. And like you said, it's all your interest, hobbies,
Yeah.
whatever, like sort of cool things you're looking at.
Like
But
dogs
then
doing funny things.
It's like-
That's you need that in your life,
It's
don't
like
you?
a personalised. I just think it's a lot more personalised than TikTok, because obviously the For You page is trying to find
Push stuff on
things
you.
that you
Yeah.
might find interesting, whereas Instagram is so like tailored to you.
Yeah.
I just love it.
Yeah, exactly.
And
And the
I've
more
never-
people you follow that you like,
Yeah.
the more suggestions that are related
Yeah.
to that. So I
Yeah.
suppose it is the most tailored
Yeah.
of them.
Definitely.
One that I've never been a Facebook person.
Have you not?
I've got 84 friends on Facebook,
Yeah.
and the majority of them are family.
Exactly, yeah.
And
I delete
But it's
I
more
just-
really
Have you not got it at
the
all?
means of communication, isn't it?
Yeah.
I do have it, but only for Facebook Marketplace. Love
Yeah.
that.
Oh, that is
love
really
that.
good.
And Bondi Rescue.
I know
Bondi
exactly what
Rescue.
you're talking about.
Yeah,
What-
the program.
I've
What's
gone
the
down
connection
that
to
same
Facebook?
I don't know. They just have a Facebook
Yeah.
page where
Do
they
they?
share all the
There's
videos.
half an
They're like
hour where-
highlights of the
where-
craziest. Yeah.
Where episodes, isn't there?
It's like TV.
Yeah.
That was my go-to when I was pregnant, Bondi Rescue.
Was it?
Yeah, when I was just feeling really ill. It was always on one of the channels randomly. It was just constant Bondi Rescue.
That is another thing that we
God.
have in
I
common.
know, we are the same person. We are.
We actually are. I love it.
Separated
I
at
can
birth.
sort
It's like
of
my
relate to this
maybe.
one.
It's like my comfort. I love it.
I'm always the one that's like, you two relating over something, and I'm just reaching over the desk like, hi guys.
It's okay. We'll get you into it.
Yeah.
I'll send you the best ones.
I love it.
Right, do you want me to ask the next one? Okay, so Emma.
Yes.
So obviously because you have your daughter.
Yeah.
So my question is, was you worried about juggling a career and a family before you had your baby girl?
Yes, in short. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I guess you can never know what it's going to entail.
Yeah.
But I knew just from, I mean, a lot of my friends have had children already, and I was one of the later ones in my friends group to have children,
Yeah.
which was amazing in the respect that I could hear their experiences firsthand, and I knew it was going to be tough. And obviously I am still really early into the adjustment of being back in a working environment half of the week.
Yeah.
And then the second half of the week, it's back to mum life.
Yeah.
And it's a huge juggle. I guess it's just something that will come with time. I thought I was a really organised person, like really organised. And now I've realised I'm not. And I need to work on that.
Yeah. Well, I think it's
Definitely.
like something that you can't really anticipate,
No.
like how
You can't
things
prep
are
for
going to
it.
be. You can't
No.
expect anything.
No.
I think I asked that question because it is something that, you know, I've thought about as someone who hopefully in the future, you know, does have a family. It is something that I've thought about, how, you know, that insane balance of trying to hold down a career and doing your job and the sort of worry of obviously wanting to be, you know, the best parent you could possibly be, alongside then doing the best job you can at work.
Definitely.
And it's something that, like, you know, is really sort of, I don't know, it seems just really daunting.
Yeah,
And
it
I
is.
guess it's like you've just said, you don't know you don't really know until it happens what's going to happen and how you're going to balance that. And you obviously always end up, figuring it out.
Yeah, you work it out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like the mum guilt is a thing.
Yeah.
And you can't, like, I couldn't prepare for the mum guilt until I experienced it. And it's weird because when you know they're fine, your child is fine, you're not worried that something's going to happen to them, but you just think, well, it should be me doing those experiences with them. And but then I just have to try and remind myself, like, it is so cliche, but like, you're doing this for them. You've got a career for them to have a great life and comfortable home life and feel safe. It is all of the cliches, but it is so true.
As well, it's like, it's aspirational, isn't it? Because it's like, for me, my mum worked like full time, like really worked her full life.
Yeah.
And like, for me to see that as then gone on to influence me as like someone
absolutely.
who, she hated her job, but she wanted,
but she
like,
did it for you guys. Yeah.
And it's like that thing of, I want to obviously like love my job and enjoy my job and expand my career and stuff like that. But I think, that just like sort of, you're doing it for her you're demonstrating that you can do it all in a way.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And that she can have goals as well. But also, I guess for me, you've got a bit of you back again. It's, you've got two sides to your life, and it's the career side of your life, but also being a parent. And like, obviously millions of people do that, mums and dads, and all the time, everybody just gets on with it.
Yeah.
I think it's just a bit daunting at first till you get into the swing of things, and then you can really, be that person of inspiration for your children, and whichever direction they want to go in.
I love that.
Nice.
You definitely are.
Thank you.
Great answer.
Love it.
Right,
I don't want to speak too much on that one on my part, because I was like, I don't know, I feel like I should let the mum speak about it, and like, do you know what I mean?
Thank you.
No, but it still matters.
Absolutely.
Because it's like, if you do or don't sort of
it's nice to hear
want that for
absolutely.
yourself. It is a thing of you sort of, I guess, as a woman,
you sort of feel overwhelmed at the thought of like
you have to
starting
consider
a family
it,
and
don't
stuff.
you? Like,
100%.
alongside having the career that you've worked so hard to sort of work at.
Now
And you
whole
don't want to then
life-changing
just
things coming.
completely eradicate that from your life when you become a parent.
Exactly.
It's strange because when you take that time off, when you're on maternity leave, your whole life changes as you knew it, all your routines and everything. So then it's all just about caring for your baby.
Yeah.
But then there does come a time when you think, well, I did, like you just said, Rachel, work really hard for my career and where I wanted to get to. And for you to give that up, it would seem counterproductive. Like, you can have both. It's just, you just got to work at it.
It's like that temporary sort of
definitely.
pause in your career.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be forever unless you choose for it to be. Like, my mum was a stay-at-home mum, and I guess I'm lucky in that respect that we were in a financially comfortable situation that we could do that.
That's the thing.
But in this day and age and the way the whole
it's so circumstantial,
climate is, that we just can't do that.
No,
so
it's just not, for the typical person, it's just not feasible, is it?
No, absolutely not. No.
But
Yeah.
I like that little conversation.
Ellie, I've got one for you actually,
Okay.
and I've been really interested to hear what your thoughts are on this. So, as somebody with an online presence, and I guess obviously you do work in marketing and social media, do you think certain elements of somebody's personal life should be kept private? If you're trying to maybe grow your brand and things, should things be kept offline?
I think it's hard to, because I can't answer for everyone. Everyone will have a different view and things like that. But personally, I found like growing up, so when I was younger, God, this is embarrassing. When I was younger, and I was like 17, I had a YouTube channel and I would just literally use my life as the content type thing. So yeah, embarrassing. Anyways, don't go look.
No,
for
but
it.
like that's what people subscribe to.
I
All
know,
the people I
it's
follow
literally
on
how you
YouTube,
do it.
that's what they do.
It's how I got here now.
Yeah.
Like, it's how I got my job, and I got to think about that.
Yeah,
and don't go looking for the videos because they're not on anymore.
We totally will.
But yeah, so I just think, but now I've got to the point where I'm working in marketing, I'm in social media. I found that like that is not my life, but that's just what I would want to teach people. I've always had like an aspiration to teach people, and I've got to the point now where I'm like, right, my personal life is my personal life, and my work life is what I'm working towards. So that's what I'd like to share with people, and I'd like to share my journey into getting into that, rather than I don't know, my boyfriend and my family, because I don't want to share stuff like that online.
Yeah, you've got to
But
draw a line somewhere,
yeah,
haven't you?
I think that's what it is. You've got to draw a line somewhere. And if you was to put all of your personal life on social media, then it's not your personal life. And personally, I don't want to do that anymore. But it is.
Yeah.
People do that, and that I've not got anything against that. But
It completely depends on what you're comfortable with.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah,
definitely.
It's like, you know, you don't want to sort of tell an audience of whoever about something really personal.
Yeah.
Like
and it's the message you're trying to put across.
there's a level.
But like you say, it really depends, because I'm thinking about people that I follow on YouTube now, and like sometimes they are super, super open about you know, like relationship troubles, fertility issues and stuff, and like, but maybe that is their niche. That is
what
the
they're
message they're
trying to
following.
put
Is
across.
That's the
their
thing.
thoughts.
Like that's also like really sort of good to have out there for other people to watch and think, oh yeah, like I'm dealing with that, or that happened
It's the
to me, or
reality.
whatever.
Yeah.
But it is it's hard, and it
It
depends
is,
on what you feel comfortable with at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And what like your partner or family.
Exactly.
Obviously
Yeah, you've got to think of
thinks
what
as
they
well,
want to.
because I have watched some things at points, and I'm like watching it thinking, oh my god, like, do their families that they're saying
Would they be
about
okay
this
about
argument,
it?
or like,
Yeah.
and you think like, you
Yeah.
know, is that too far?
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
But-
I know what you mean.
Depends what it is.
Yeah.
No, just personally, I've got to a point where I want my personal life to be separate, and then my socials are aimed at social media management,
Exactly. Yeah.
marketing,
And about you as well.
Yeah, and
like,
about
it's
me,
mainly
like
about you, not your relationships. It's about you as like a person.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
And what you've got to offer
Yeah.
without being too business related. It's buying
showing
into
you a
you,
real
but not
person.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Which
not
you
just a
do.
robot, like,
you do
I'm
really
in
well.
marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But so that's my opinion on it, and I don't. If someone wants to talk about personal life, they can.
Yeah,
And,
I get that.
You know. So
Fantastic.
Who's got the last? Have I got a question? Have I not asked a question? I've asked both of my questions.
I've got one.
Okay.
Rachel.
Yeah.
Oh no.
If you could have any other job,
Again.
but a graphic designer, and it can't be anything like, just be a housewife.
Oh no.
You need to have a
dream
job.
job,
I
all
don't
right.
want to be a housewife. Yeah, that's Emma's dream job. What would my dream job be? So, when I was younger, I really wanted to be an air hostess.
Really?
Yep.
She did not mention this.
No.
That really
And
surprises me.
Basically, do you know, like for a nice posh airline,
Yeah.
like
Emirates.
an
Yeah, I was gonna
Emirates,
say Emirates.
I wanted to wear the outfit and the red lip.
I can actually imagine that.
And do you know, like, I love the element of like the travel aspect of it, and sort of traveling around, seeing different places. I know there's obviously more to it than that, because you are at the end of the day like hostessing a plane.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There was a point. I remember seeing a job ad when I was about 18 or something like that, and I could have gone for it, but the timing and everything, it
Life
wasn't
would
right.
have gone in such a different
It'd
trajectory as
have
well,
gone-
because you wouldn't meet the same people. 'cause
Literally,
you'd be everywhere.
your life would have been so different if you'd like picked something else or a different career, or went for that job. I mean, I could have applied for it and not got it. But But yeah, I think in terms of just like for a posh airline, a nice airline.
I like that.
Like going
That's
to
a really nice
going to
answer.
like exotic places, and I mean, I might be like completely naive here, thinking it's like one of them things where historically it seemed like a bit more of a glamorous sort of job. I know the matter of fact is, you know, working for
There's the behind the scenes
certain
element of
budget
it, but-
airlines. It's not obviously what it's cracked up to be or whatever.
Well, I used to work with somebody that was an air host / hostess, and they loved it.
Yeah.
Obviously, they didn't do it for when I worked with them, but they absolutely loved it. And you'd get like a 3-day layover in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And you'd just have a nice time in Jamaica, just chilling till you flew back again. Like, obviously, that is the glamorous side of it.
That's the
but
thing. There's something like, really appealing about it. But I mean,
sun.
your lifestyle has to be like completely like single person, no responsibilities,
commitments, no dogs at home.
and no dogs. I couldn't leave my dogs now. But, you know, So that would.
I love that. I did not expect that. That's all.
Yeah. There you go.
Neither
What
did
would
I.
yours supposed to be?
Oh God. I hadn't had time to think about this.
I would be. This might sound bizarre. I would be a gardener.
A gardener?
Yeah.
What?
Because I
Okay.
love gardening. I genuinely love gardening. Didn't get to do much the last 12 months because baby. But it's just one of those things, you know, when you find a hobby and it just takes you away from
And you love
everything
it.
to the point where I don't even need headphones in. Like I don't need some background
You
noise.
was
It's
just
so
enjoying it so
relaxing.
much.
Yeah, completely. Just growing vegetables, gardening, and
Yeah.
if I could do that professionally and like make other people's gardens look great. No, so yeah,
you
just
can
like
do my
that's-
garden if you
Yeah.
want.
I hate
taking on
gardening.
guppies at the
it's such a
weekend.
mess.
Fine with
I
that.
hate
Yeah,
it. I hate
I know
gardening.
it's not
I'll
for
invite
everyone,
you
but
round.
No,
I'll supply
yeah.
drinks.
yeah, I think it's just the being outdoors element of it as well.
Yeah.
Like
Just have a
it's-
garden party and then
Yeah,
just cutting
no
the
gardening.
edges.
Yeah, you lot are all just drinking and I'm just trimming the
Yeah,
edges.
just,
Brilliant.
Like, just planting some flowers.
Yeah.
Like, don't mind me.
That'd be hilarious.
That's so wholesome.
How about you?
I don't
Dream job
know.
if it wasn't.
Do you know what I
this?
think it would be actually? Because I said this earlier, photographer.
Yeah,
I would. I'd be a
Yeah.
photographer and I'd go around doing like concert photography.
Yes.
Because I remember growing up and there was this guy that did concert photography, can't speak, for Rita Ora. I'm going to say it not in a whole way. And I was just like, I wish I had your job growing up. Like,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it'd be. And I was doing all the festivals and the concerts,
Yeah.
Cool shots.
Yeah.
all the way, all around the
Yeah.
world. That's what I'd do.
Yeah.
Did you see the when Harry Styles was touring and he would upload like he wouldn't upload, but there'd be pictures posted of like his tours and there'd be just these crazy cool
Yeah.
photographs that a designated photographer that
Yeah.
followed him round
Imagine that
during
being
these
your
tours.
job.
Imagine
Yeah.
that being you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Amazing.
That's
I'd love it.
That's
Yeah.
a great dream job.
Yeah. With a bit of travel involved as well.
Yeah.
Right, guys, I'm
Yeah.
leaving. Bye.
To photograph Harry Styles on tour, yeah, that's
I
absolutely
mean,
fine.
I'd be like, go for it, girl.
Yeah.
Can I come?
Rachel, you come in.
yeah.
You
Just
be
to meet
ready.
Harry Styles. I'd love that.
Yeah.
Perks of the job.
Yeah. That'd be a really good job.
Yeah.
Celebrities. Well, is there any questions that you've got that we could all answer?
Yeah, that we didn't, yeah.
Okay.
Like one we just did.
Still 2 hours on this one. So.
Great.
What a
Don't tempt us.
I know we could chat for another 2 hours, to be fair.
All day we've been going, this is great, but let's save it for later.
Yeah, let's just do one last.
But like,
one
let's
and
stop talking.
Yeah.
Save it for the camera. So I've got a couple more questions. One of which is, how do you handle setbacks in your career? So I know that obviously we've spoke about that. I mean, both of you got made redundant at one point
yeah.
in your career
Yeah.
timeline, and it's like, how did that affect you? And basically, because I know a lot of people, and I've seen a lot of people absolutely thrive, for instance, from redundancy. And yeah, it's interesting what you thought about that.
I mean,
me to
I'm
go first?
totally one of these people that believes everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm a broken record, but I really, really do. Because I just think you wouldn't be where you are now if that thing didn't happen. If
Yeah.
you applied for this job that you thought was your dream job and you didn't get it,
There's a reason.
there is a reason and something
Massively.
else will come up that is supposed to happen. And
Yep.
so obviously I was unfortunately made redundant twice since the pandemic.
Right.
And the first time around, I had a LinkedIn account and didn't do anything with it at all. Thought it was completely pointless and it was just people bragging about promotions. I didn't realise everything that it had to offer. I know that sounds cliche, but like
No, but you don't.
I
but
thought
you don't
I could
tap on
use it. Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
just thought it was Facebook for jobs.
It
And
kind
that's
of
how I
was like
described
that,
it.
though,
Yeah.
like, so
and then
many
I
years
thought,
ago.
okay, I can just give it a go. I've got the time. So I thought what I'm going to do is dedicate, maybe not 9 to 5, but during office hours, dedicate some real time to actually networking and reaching out to people and posting, you know, what my routine would be now I'm not working. And I did get a few comments here and there that said, oh, talking about your redundancy will affect you negatively and it'll actually impact you finding a job in the future. Categorically, I can
Why?
say it doesn't at all.
I think it's so unfair to like judge
Yeah.
someone by redundancy when it's literally
Absolutely.
It's,
Yeah.
it's not of your choosing. It's not of your doing. It's a
Yeah.
a company decision for whatever reason.
Exactly.
that
There could be
has
so many different
happened.
reasons. It's not like
Yeah.
you're not broadcasting to LinkedIn, I've been fired again.
Yeah.
There's been a
exactly.
financial crisis. We had, 2020 happened and that's shaped a lot
Things
of businesses
change.
into
Yeah.
what they
Yeah.
are now. And sometimes you
Absolutely.
do need to just mix it up a little bit and,
Yeah.
kind of regenerate the office or the team vibe, and that can sometimes mean literally a company
happens,
restructure.
yeah.
So I don't personally think it impacted me. You just gotta see it as a positive.
Yeah.
Try and really kind of dial back. Okay, what do I want to do? Was I happy doing what I was doing previously? Do I maybe want to try something else, a different industry, or a lot of people get made redundant and end up going freelance or setting up a business on their own, and it's the best thing that could ever happen to them. Somebody I know recently did that, and they are absolutely thriving, and they've got contracts and client meets coming out of their ears. It's been fantastic for them. So personally, for me, I've only seen it as a positive. But I don't know how was your experience, Ellie?
I think looking back on it now, like when I was in the moment, obviously I got made redundant at 17, 18, I think. So it was like my first job. I'd been in that job for like 3 years. And at the time, it was like the end of the world. Well, at the time, it was like, oh my God, I've got loads of money and I live with my parents.
And then you go, oops.
And then I was like, oops, this
I
is
don't have
all
a job
gone now.
now.
I need a job.
Yeah.
So,
There is the mild panic first, isn't there?
Yeah, of course.
So at the time, I was like, God, end of the world, whatever. But now looking back at it, like, I realised that really pushed me to be like, have a work ethic, basically. Obviously I had my first job, and then I was like, right, I need to go into something else. And then I got into that and I was like, I need something else to earn more money. So then I went to another job, and I feel like that's really where my work ethic started. And I think it's really pushed me, I don't know, to have more drive and things like that. Whereas obviously at the time,
And you
it was the
can't
worst
make
thing
sure it never happens again, because that's what I was going to say. Like, nobody can predict that.
No.
But to just at least have the confidence that if it does happen, you're in a better place than you were the last time around, and you can recover from that, and you've got more experience.
Yeah, with it happening for me so young, I now know how to handle stuff like that. Like,
Absolutely.
if it was to happen, I don't know, in my 30s and I had a house and it's never happened to me before, I'd be like, what am I doing? But now I kind of know
you know
what's
you can
happening.
do it, you can recover from it. Yeah,
so
that's a really good point.
I'm kind of not glad, but sort of glad that it's happened.
Yeah, definitely.
Influenced you to sort of like
Set yourself up.
think about what you wanted as well for
Definitely.
yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially like being so young, like that could have really knocked someone at that age to be like, God, I've gone into this is my working life. I've gone into work, and then I've been made redundant, and that it sucks. But I see, you've got to strive forward and keep going on.
Yeah.
Definitely. Don't let it knock you.
Yeah, it's great that it hasn't knocked you, and if anything, you gained more confidence from having
Definitely.
that experience.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that. Great question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, guys, any more questions?
Do you want to wrap it up?
Yeah.
Yep, happy with that, if you guys are.
Yeah.
I feel like Rachel.
Rachel's like, I did have one more, but...
No,
Can we use this
because
one,
the other one's
please?
a bit difficult.
Is it?
Yeah.
What was it of interest?
It was.
We can then make an executive
decision.
decision.
It was. What are some key lessons you've learned through your working career so far?
We struggled with that one, didn't we?
Key lessons. It's a bit like of a all-rounded question there, but
Personally, I would struggle to think of a way to round that off.
key lessons.
If you've got any there, one of us can ask it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Why don't we keep it for next time?
Yeah.
Watch the next episode.
Yeah.
See you in the
Stay
next
tuned.
episode. Yeah, we'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
Do we need to do an outro?
No, that's it. We fade out.
Do we?
Bye,
We just fade
guys.
out.
Bye.
Yeah.
So that's it from the Superfly.
Superfly.
Superfly sailors.
Oh, yeah. Superfly Sailors. From the
Have you forgotten that quickly?
No, she's in our team.
No, but you were.
Yeah,
You were you?
I was on that team. I didn't know what you were referencing.
He was not on my team.
That's funny though.
Yeah.
Love that for you. Okay.
Cool.
Amazing.
See you
Thanks, guys.
see you in the next episode.
Yeah.
Bye.
Stay tuned.